model on a Wessex, which is a short sword about yay big. I wanted a Wessex size, performance, balance and speed version of my Goloff. So as a trial, I ground one of them out, still imparted the spring tamper on the spine, and come up with this called a Golozashi. Similar geometry, and it is as well. It's as fast as. And for someone my size, I'm not a Hulk, the speed makes up for the lack of mass. When you're using something that's like a machete, there's no mass there, but boy can it cut deep because it's going so fast, and especially at the end. So when you work out the speed at the end compared with your hand speed, you're getting performance in another way. And when I keep the sweep of the blade, I'm still getting slicing cuts because it's continue, and then the other way. So the performance on this, even though it's quite light, it makes up for itself in many ways because of the length and the efficient way that I've used the stock. So I've got hardly any slab left. There's strengthening slab there, but most of the actual width from tip to edge of spine is actually beveled. When you look at the way that I finished the blade, because it's not exactly high gloss, but you can tell that there's more than a satin finish. It's not for aesthetics, it is for performance. It's for a lack of friction. Once you start cutting, whatever material you're going to be cutting through, be it softwood, hardwood, meat, potatoes, whatever it is, it's rubbing, it's catching. So if you've got a satin finish, it's rubbing, it's catching. If you've got a glossier finish, it's sliding a little bit more effectively. So it's not because I want to look at it shiny, it's not because I want it to flash in the sun, it's for performance. And this one, a lot of history behind this. My GCSE 1988, I did all the design on Survival Knives because I was reading the SES Survival Handbook by Lofty. And by using wood templates, I was able to get a balance as good as I could do it at the time, being only like 16. And I came up with this as my GCSE project, and literally 28 years later, whatever, it's finally here. It's got a Demon shell, which is German for demon steel. Weight forward, yes, but with the canted back handle and the opportunity to move forward on an unsharpened choil, again, be rounded off. This is just a blank. What we got now is something that rocks in the hand. If you can imagine, I could have extra weight there with the scales and the pins. I'm even considering, spoiler, metal bolsters on the back, and I will get the balance. So this is virtually complete in equilibrium. That will be allowed to literally sit there and you can chop, chop and chop. With the blade being dropped, it's a knuckle saver. With the blade being dropped, if you're sat down and you're on a chopping block, that's the perfect height. You are not stooped over further down because you've got a straight blade. Within 3 strikes of using this, I just went. Everything that I designed back then that I couldn't really make in an effective metal, but now I've got, it seems to be working out. Once again, it's all blurred in. There's a higher gloss finish. It will cut grass. It's tough as old boots, and with everything made so it's for performance and resilience, I blur all the grinding in, so again you haven't got that abrupt plunge line which creates stresses. There you go. That's most of my blade range, but what I'm missing is the Enforcer, which is about an 8-inch Bowie camp knife, and the Badass, which is a remodeled one, which is about a 10-inch. That's Wessex blade range. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott, you open?
It's open at the moment. About a 4-month waiting list. I take a £50 deposit and they get you on the books. Nearer the time whenever I begin to start on your blade, we start discussing the woods that I've got, but all the hardwoods now come stabilised. I've got my vacuum vessel, and it's all oven cure, cactus juice. I use liners as well. There's many reasons why people use liners. Apparently it's attractive. To me it's an engineering principle I'm trying to impart on a knife. The glue, the epoxy, the adhesive sticks better from the steel to the liner and from the liner to the wood or the micarta. it sticks better than it would if you just put the two together. It takes up a little bit of shock out, and it takes up a little bit of the surface area that may not necessarily be straight. You can get an engineering principle where you want it where it's a slip fit, or if you go in on a lapping board or a lapping plate and you get two pieces of wood that are literally so effing flat, you can slide them and make them fit. That's alright, but as soon as you put a liner on, it's not really something you need to be doing, but they're in there for a very good reason. It makes the adhesion far more secure. So even on Merlin, the basic one, they come with a liner, so a red vulcanized fibre liner or a black one, and then the adhesion between the metal to the handle material is increased because you put this easy to glue separator thing in the middle.
Are you open if somebody wants a specific wood? Are you open to the customization?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a fair amount of wood that I've got hold of at the moment, but by the time that the list comes through to Europe, goodness knows what I could have got hold of. But I've also got a place near me between Radstock and Wells called Interesting Timbers. I've known the guy for a while, and he's actually get heritage woodland cut up, so I'm able to access. I got some English elm burr a while back. I can get hold of oak, hornbeam, the Burnham. I can get hold of stuff from foresters that may come in and get recycled wood. So as time goes on, there may be a more interesting timber that I can get you when it comes to your blading in the list.
Sheath options.
Sheath options. There's plenty, really. I mean, what I would like to do is keep it as traditional, as neat and tidy as possible. So a pouch sheath is plenty good enough for the average person that knows how to look after a knife and wear it correctly. The sheath is a reasonable friction fit, and it keeps it safe for how you're going to wear it. I can do the danglers. I can do double layers with a welt up on both sides. I give an option of a ferro rod shoe, colour matched handles on the ferro rods. On the small ones down there, like the Merlin, his standard is a Kydex sheath, so I actually use the proper American grade Kydex. I use the thick stuff, not the thin one. All the rivets come from America, and it's moulded as good as I can get it. So we're talking nearly Gavco standard. I use all the proper rivets that do actually come from America, because you can. I've seen some really shocking stuff where people ask me to re-sheathe their knife they had done in Kydex because they got it from Poland, and it's just literally dropped in a press of thermoplastic of some description, pulled out, and that's it. Each knife is individually then reformed with a heat gun in order to get that scale to fit that sheath, so you get as good a retention as I possibly can get. And then I always make sure that it'll have tank lock compatibility by making sure that there's the correct 3/4 of an inch. So unfortunately it's still an American base, so it'll have the option so you can fit tech lock to all my Kydex sheaths. And on the larger ones where you do want Kydex, it comes standard as a tech lock. So I charge you for the tech lock, because what it will not do is make the belt loop that goes on the back that hangs on your belt. Because unless you're putting very cleverly angled 45-degree corners on everything, you're creating a piece of plastic that's just asking to break and buckle. So I don't do belt loops in Kydex. The standard is you get a neck carry, so the paracord goes through the little eyelets, or you get it as a belt carry or a pack carry, it gets a full-on proper tech lock. Thank you.
Sheaths, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you still have time to work in any pouches for fire kit carry, that sort of thing, or is that just getting...
I am really got time to do that.
Right.
Yeah, the odd pouch is more than happy to put Ron Swanson on anybody.
Yeah.
Possibly John Wellings as well. He's really improving his level of work. So that would be what used to be Brummy John. But yeah, he's pretty good at the pouches, but I haven't got the time now to do stuff that's like off-piece.
Yeah,
it comes in nice.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.